250 Gemstones culture represents a nation of people that strive for excellence and greatness every single day. We are more than journalism. We are a revolution. Come on, let's kick this door down and let everybody know we up in here. Welcome to the 250 Gemstones News TV channel. I am your host, Michael T. Porter, and I'm bringing the news to your ass like no other. This is a channel that represents a nation of people that strive for excellence and greatness every single day. I have another bomb news segment for y'all, but before I begin, y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping. And if you'd like to support the mission, support the channel, support the growth, Cash App $ Michael US. Candace Owens, Black Queen. A lot of people don't like Candace Owens. I like Candace Owens. She's so fine to me. She goes off on racist Democrats at this city council meeting. It was a hearing and all these white folks were gaining up on her, and she gave all of those Karens and all of those Mr. Charlies a dose of some black realness. I mean, this sister just kept it real in this goddamn courtroom. I got a video I want to play for y'all, and I'm gonna be right back with you to give you my opinion. Let's go.
Manifestos. Now, I just have to say that I object strenuously to your use of the word hilarious. To me, this feels a lot like your reaction to being named in one of these manifestos. Now, you're, of course, not responsible for the words of somebody writing that document, but I do think that laughing at it is a real problem, because these are real families that are impacted by this violence. And I think our efforts towards talking about this have to start from a place of mutual respect, which is what I've heard from this side of the table. Now, the reason we don't have those numbers, I want those numbers as much as you do, but to say the numbers don't show something is simply not supported by the data.
Okay, and I have 38 seconds left, Ms. Mulligan, if you want to respond within that time.
The only thing I would add is that it's in the name. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, it terrorizes us. It terrorizes us in our homes. It terrorizes us in our schools. And to the points made by the other panelists, it is disproportionate to its impact on any individual life, and it's not.
You reject the idea it's something that doesn't matter, or it doesn't really matter?
Absolutely reject.
Okay. All right, so here's where we are. Every member now has had 5 minutes and... Okay, and Mr. Clay, so we have two members who have not. So I'm going to go to the two members who have not yet, and we'll give an opportunity for a closing thought to any member who wants before we go.
Am I next to respond, or is Mr. Meadows?
I thought Mr. Meadows was
Mr.
next.
Meadows, okay.
Mr. Meadows is next, then Mr. Clay, then to you, Mr. Jordan.
Ms. Owens, obviously this is a gang up on you. You know, we're giving these witnesses the ability to do a rebuttal on you, and so I find it unfair, Ms. Ballou. I mean, candidly, for you to show mutual respect and then you to go after Ms. Owens, it's not appropriate. So, Ms. Owens, you can have 4 minutes and 34 seconds to respond. However,
yield for a second?
I'll yield.
Thank you. I believe, Ms. Owens, when you used the word hilarious, it was referencing the fact that no one had asked you a question. It wasn't to the subject matter of the hearing. Is that right?
That is correct.
And to have another witness insinuate something that is not accurate is just not appropriate, Mr. Chairman, for how witnesses are supposed to behave in front of this committee. I also think you didn't say it doesn't matter about the subject matter of today's hearing. You said there are other subjects that matter as well, and maybe we should spend some time on those. Is that accurate?
That is correct, and they matter much, 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 much more. And I've said that. I said that in my opening, and I will say it again. You know that white supremacy and white nationalism ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up in this room is because it is attempt to make the election all about race, as the Democrats.
Not in my case, Ms. Owens. I'm sorry. Please do not characterize my motive.
Mr. Chairman, it's my time.
Yeah, you've got your time, Mr. Meadows. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Every 4 years you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does
all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which is you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative, okay? I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious. I said it's hilarious that we are sitting in this room today, and I've got 2 doctors and a missus, and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is. Because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be so that you can manipulate. And the audacity of you to bring up the Christchurch shooting manifesto and make it seem as if I laughed at people that were slaughtered by a homicidal maniac is, in my opinion, absolutely despicable. And I think that we should be above that. To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration. He also cited Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number 1, father absence. Number 2, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce, and it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Damn.
I'll yield back.
Would y'all like my opinion? Would y'all like some of this 250 Gemstones News TV commentary? Well, of course you do. That's why your ass is here. Candace Owens, in my personal opinion, she checks off on what I call a woman. Now, the black woman, now the black part, I'm just confused. She's always talking about black people, but she never married a black man. As far as I know, she's married to a white man. So in my book, for all you pro-black Negroes out there, you are automatically disqualified. If I'm talking about the real, if you consider yourself a pro-black and you're super, super pro-black, if you don't have a black counterpart, that says a lot. Because I believe her white husband, he's rich. Now, it's a money grab. I ain't mad with the sister getting her money on, but for you to constantly talk about the black community, in order to have a black community, you have to have a black father, a black mother, black children. She doesn't even have a black man, so therefore her children won't be full black. So that's the only part that confuses me about Candace. Why did you marry a black man? But you keep talking about black people and black unity and black community and the black problems. You gave your legacy to a whole nother ethnic group. They have their own way of doing things. They have their own identity that has nothing to do with black folk. They have their own ideology. So that's the only part I'm confused about. You don't have a black man on your arm, because that lets me know you don't find black men valuable enough to marry. You don't find black men worthy enough to obey. Why? Because when she has a black man and she's operating in her femininity, it shows that he's worthy enough to obey. He's worthy enough or valuable enough to follow. Why isn't she following a black man? So we'll get into that, but everything else was spot on. Fatherless homes and education, poor education. They are trying to get our black babies in the grave and in prison, or turn them out gay, or turn them out to hate God. Anti-God, graveyard, prison. They're putting an immense amount of pressure on black children. And she said there's 100 things on the list that I can name, and white supremacy is not one. I would have to disagree. There's a lot of things on the list, but 2 things could be true. And this is where she's mastered being extreme, like a lot of these conservatives, because they know that's not true. They know that white supremacy, they have, not, why don't we say supremacy? They understand that the system that's ran by white folks, well, I really don't know who's running the system, but this American system, 2 things could be true. The American system is targeting blacks, and black people are trifling. 2 things could be true at the same time. I knew that when I was a kid. Damn, the white folks on our ass and niggas on our ass too. When niggas is trifling, the system is trifling. I mean, 2 things could be true. That's my standpoint. The system is giving us pressure, and our own people is putting us under pressure. The way we talk to each other, the way we're not building, the way we're not putting our money together, the way we just wait around hoping that some damn politician is going to help us. A lot of our issues, we don't even need politicians. We just need the money. Get the money first. Get God first. Get the money first. And then we make absolutely sure whoever we put in office, they work for us and they continue to aid our trajectory. So in other words, if we have a plan in place, whoever is elected by black folks in our local community, our state representatives, whoever we elect, we put them in place to ensure that our trajectory continues, that our growth continues. And if we get any sense that they're interfering with black growth, you have to go. You know what I mean? So I applaud her for handing her own, because the Democrats have mastered making black people feel like slaves. Two things could be true again. Hardworking people, just because you work hard, that does not make you rich. So when people say, "Oh, black people just lazy," there's a lot of hardworking people and they're still broke, because that's how the system is designed. Unless you move as a unit, get married. That the quickest way to get wealth is get married. The quickest way to get wealth is, if you're not going to get married, have a roommate, have some friends, and y'all get together and move that money. But singly, just you can do it on your own, but it's going to take a long time. So two things could be true, because I worked my ass off and I was still not where I wanted to be, because every year the cost of living goes up. You're fighting inflation. You know, you starting out from ground zero. There's a lot of things that working hard won't solve. You're going to have to do something different. So when they say black people are lazy, well, it's not the fact that black people are lazy. It's the fact that you're fighting a system that robs people, the IRS. There's a lot of things in place that especially black conservatives leave out. And the Democrats will bring it up, but they ain't going to bring no solutions either. Neither party is going to bring a solution. But if we eliminate the political party, just talk about the issues in the black community, she is absolutely right. Black man, I know the black woman is so fine, like Candace Owens. Candace Owens is just fine, intelligent. She speaks her mind. She's confident. She's articulate. That's a woman. You know what I mean? I know the black one, even the ghetto girls, they are fine. Black strippers, fine. The daughters, fine. The mama, fine. She get it from her mama. Mama and daughter looking good. I know God bless the black woman with all them curves, but we have to marry them if we're gonna be shooting up their club. So fatherless homes, that poor education. There's a lot of things going on. Poor health, child abuse. There's a lot going on in the black community. But y'all flood my comments. What do y'all think about Candace Owens going off on them white folks at the court hearing? 250 capital G. I'm gone.